Today we are going to start with the new topic, which is list in Python. So basically, list is our data structure in Python. So previously we have learned about strings as a data structure. Now we are going to learn about list as a data structure. So list is basically collection of elements, and the elements can be in integer format or in string format. So if you want to create a list, there will be collection of elements, and elements can be in different data types also. So why it is known as a data structure? Because see, when you are in a programming world, data structures you can consider like a building blocks of a coding language. So data structure is something like in what structure you are going to define your data. So if I'm talking about list, I know that list is a collection of elements. Now, how it is known as a collection of elements, I will give you a basic example like what list is. So if I have written something like this, so I have taken a variable a, and in a variable a, I have taken square bracket. So if you want to store the elements in the list by default by yourself, so at that point of time, you have to use a square bracket. So if I have written 1, comma 2, comma, I have written Durgesh, then I have written 3, and I have written 4. So in this list, there are two type of data types. Basically, first is integer and second is string. So I am able to hold all these five in my list. So if I have given a square bracket, then it will be considered as a list only. If you want to check like what is the type of this, what is the data type of this, so what you can do, you can write type A. How many of you think like what will be the answer if I have written type of A? Let's check. So it's connecting with my laptop to set up an environment in which I can use Python. And after that, it will give me the result. So see, it is showing me that, yeah, this is a type of a list. Why it is a list? Because I have used a square bracket. So if you want to define a list by yourself, you have to use a square bracket. And in the square bracket, you can drop your elements. This is the basic example of list. Now, for example, if I have written A is equal to 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Now this thing is known as list of integers. If you want to call it, we'll call it list of integers. Now in this list of integers, let's try to create a loop. So now we will establish a loop here. Loop. So we will use a for loop. So if I have written for I in range. So this time I'm going to use my range. So if I have written for I in range, and inside range, what I will write is I will write 0, comma, length of my list, which is length of A. So if I have written something like this, and I am going to print I, tell me the output what I will get if I'll print I here. What I will get if I print I here? Anybody who can tell me the answer? So if I'll print I here, I will get my integers from 0 to 4. Why 0 to 4? Because you know that every time when you are giving a range in Python or a range in loop, the range in loop starts from the first element, which is our 0, and it will go to length of the variable, which means length of the list minus 1. So it will go to 0 to 5 minus 1, which is 0 to 4. Now, this is a case in which I am getting only numbers. Why I'm getting numbers? The answer is, see how it is executing. When I have written for I in range. So now this I is a iterator. Iterator is something that goes one by one from step 0 to step last, and it is basically like an index. So if I have used for I in range 0 to length of A, which means the index, the at starting, the index value will be 0, which will be 0th index, then index 1, then index 2, then index 3, then index 4. Because 5 minus 1 is 4, so it will go from 0 to 4. Now, if I want my if I have written something like this, A of I, if I have written something like this, what will happen? So now in this list, basically A is our list. So in A list, ith index I have to print. So at starting, when my loop will start, the index value will be 0. So if the index value will be 0 and I want to print list element at index 0. So A of 0 will be 1. So like this, loop will start from 0 to last, which is 4, and it will print all my list values here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this thing clear to all of you? How this loop is working on list? Now there is one more case. So now if we want to get output like this, we have given a range and then we have printed it like this. But for example, if I directly want a output like this without giving a range or anything, then there is a simple way. What you have to do is, I will first define my list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will directly write for I in A, and I will write print I. Now what will happen if I'll write for I in A, what will happen? If I will use it like this, I will directly get the element of my list. So if I have not given any range and I have directly put my index in my list, then by default, my index value will catch these values and it will return all these values one by one. So if you want a same output like this without giving a range, you just have to write for I in the variable, which is list, string, or anything, and you just have to write a print I. Now I will not react like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will directly come inside the list and it will start giving you the elements of the list. Till here, everybody's clear? Okay. I want answers from everyone. If you all are clear, then I can move forward. Because this is the most basic thing I'm telling you now. Till last of the class, like till the last class, or you will be able to understand each and everything in this list and all topic. So now let's go to the next thing. So now what I will do is I will tell you how to take a user defined list. How to take a user defined list. So now, till now, what we are doing is we are creating a list on our own. Now we will not create a list on our own. Now what we will do is we will try to take a input from the user and that input will be in the form of list. So what I will do, I will tell you. So I have given a variable lst to my list. I have given lst. Now what I will do is I will write map, and in this map I will write first int. Why I'm writing int is I want my list in form of integers only. I only want to take integers in my list. So I have written int. Then I will write input. You know that if you want to input something in Python, you have to use input. And after that, I will write a split. Now, first understand what this means. What this means. So basically, for example, if we are giving any input, if we are giving any input like 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5, suppose we want to enter these 5 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every point of time when you are giving these numbers in the form of space 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5, what it will do is first these all numbers are taken in the form of a string. First these all numbers are taken in the form of a string. After taking in the form of a string, the second thing that will happen is a split. Now how split will work? Because see, you have given input in a single line 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5. Now what split will do, with the help of these spaces, see, if you not put anything inside the split, split will work in the form of spaces. So it will distribute all the numbers one by one once there is a space. So these numbers will be like 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Now, after this, this int will work. So at starting, these all 5 numbers are in the form of string. Now all these numbers are in the form of integer. All these numbers are in the form of integer. Now these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be mapped. Will be mapped. And what I will do is, see, right now I have given only one variable. This mapping basically means, for example, if I have given something like this, a comma b comma c comma d, then what this map will do, it will assign a with 1, b with 2, c with 3, d with 4, and e with 5. Let's check what will happen. Let's check. First, I will do this thing. Print a comma b comma c comma d comma e. Let's see what will happen. So I have ran this code, and I will give one by one all the numbers in A, B, C, D, E. So I will give 1 to A, then space 2, then space 4, then space 5, then space 6. Let's see what happened. See, in a single line, I have given 5 inputs and I received all my 5 inputs in the print statement. So till now, what you were doing is you were trying to give input for a single variable at a single instance. Now what you can do is, with the help of this spacing and all, you can give 5 to 6 input in a single line. Now, in our list format, I will not take this A, B, C, D, E because list is a single entity. So what I will do, I will just write a variable name here and I will cast this thing into a list. I will cast this thing into a list. Now, what will happen if suppose I am entering 6 elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm entering 6 elements, all 6 elements will be mapped by default on indexes starting from 0 to n minus 1, which is length of list minus 1. So suppose if I am doing something like this and I am writing print my list. See what will happen. Okay. So I have written print and I will write print list. So let's run it again. So I will give 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. See, by default, my list is created. So this is something known as, if you want to take list from user as an input, then you can do this thing. Is this thing clear to all of you, how to take list input from the user? How many of you are clear like how to take the input from the user in the form of list? Now I have a question for all of you, like very simple question, then we'll move forward. So my question is, I want to take input like this. So I will write my input statement. So my input will be in the form of 1, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any input. I am giving by default 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can write any input. And my output will be 4. So I will take these 5 inputs and my output will be 4. And my explanation, like what is the form of doing this, like how we are getting this output, I will write. We are getting this output by adding our number B with C and subtracting D from it. So we are adding our number B plus C and subtracting D from it. By this way, we are getting this output. So write me a query. This number can be anything. So now you have to write me a Python code for this, in which you can give any user input, but your output will be in the form of adding B plus C minus D. So first of all, how many numbers we are taking in the input? How many numbers we are taking in the input? Just tell me first. 5. So how many variables I need? 5. So I need 5 variables. So I will write A, comma P, comma C, comma D, comma A. So this time we are not going to take it one by one. We will write A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E. We'll take all these 5. Now, you know that if I have taken all these 5, how I can give it a single input, say single line input. So first what I have to do is I will write my input statement. Simple input. You know that we have to, if we want to input something, we have to use input. Now, what I will do is I will write a split also, because I have to split all the values one by one. For example, if I have given 5 values in a single line followed by a space, I have to split them all. Now, I have to change them into an integer also, because we can apply calculation only on integers. Now, the last thing that I will do is I will map all these values from starting to end. So if I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be taken in the form of a string. Then all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will get splitted into a single 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alag alag. And after that, all of them will be converted into an integer, which means at starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were in string. Now they are in integer format. And now all these will be mapped accordingly. Like A will get 1, B will get 2, C will get 3, D will get 4, and E will get 5, according to my example. And after this, I will write print simple B plus C minus D. Let's see what will happen. So I will take 1, 12, 13, 14, 26. And my output is 11, which is 12 plus 13 minus 14. Is this thing clear to all of you, how to take multiple inputs in a single line? Okay. Now we are moving towards little more difficult reason. So now I want you to write me a Python code in which these all recorded sessions are available on YouTube also and available on my drive also. So you can go anywhere. If you want to see all these recorded sessions, you will easily get in my Python series on YouTube, or you can get the drive link as well. So now what we have to do is I want to write a Python. I want you to write a Python code in which a list will be taken from the user input, and we have to make and we have to check if any element of list is divisible by 5, we have to store that number into a different list in the same order. So this is my question that I want you to solve. Now I will give you an example of this. So suppose the input is taken in the form of 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 10. Suppose the input is taken in the form of this. Now, this is my initial list. Now, in this list, how many elements are divisible by 5? In this list, how many elements are divisible by 5? 5 and 10. So I want the output in the form of new list in which only elements will be 5, 10. So this is my input list. This is my input list. According to the example, this is my input list, and I want a output list from this. And the solution mode is like all the list elements which are divisible by 5, we have to store them into a new list. See, this kind of questions you can get in your interviews. Now tell me, like you all know that we have to use a loop concept in this. So what I will do is I will take my list first. And this time I'm going to take my list from the user. So I will write input dot split int, then my mapping thing to map the indexes from starting to end. And after that, the last thing that I will cast it into a list because I want to create a list. Simple. By this way, I am going to take input from the user in the form of list. Now my second step will be for I in list. For I in list. If I modulus 5, if I modulus 5 is equal to 0, which means I am checking the divisibility. If I modulus 5 is equal to 0, now I have to append all those numbers which are in the form of divisible by 5 into a new list. So what I will do is I will take an empty list here, which is my L. And inside L, I will give nothing. Why I'm taking an empty list? Because I want to store my elements in it. So how to define an empty list? Just we have to put two square brackets. Now automatically compiler will understand that this L is in the form of a list automatically. Now what I will do is if I modulus 5 is equal to 0, I will write L dot append. Now if you want to add any element in the list, you have to write append. So I will write L dot append I. So append is basically used to add elements in the list. Now, after this, I have written this thing like if I modulus 5 is equal to 0, L dot append I. Now, after this, I will write my else case. Else, else, else. I will not write my else case. I will not write my else case. I will directly come outside from the loop and I will write print L. Let's run this and see what will happen. I'm going to take 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 14, 12, 7. See, the new list which is coming is 5, 10, 15, 20 in it. Is this thing clear to all of you? Can you people solve these kind of basic questions in the list? Now, the second question that will come into the picture is write a Python program to reverse a list. So there are different ways to reverse a list. Different ways. So first way is very simple. So for example, if I have given L is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So first simple way is slicing. So if I want to reverse the element of my list, what I will do is I will write print L, and inside my square brackets, I will write -1. Let's see what will happen. See, if I have given L -1, what is happening? It is returning me 6, which means -1 will always give me the last element. Now you know that slicing concept. If I write colon -1, what is the thing that happens when I'm using colon -1 in my string value? Who will tell me? If I use a slicing kind of thing in my string with colon -1, what will happen? It will reverse my list. It will reverse my string. So now if I use the same thing in the list, what will happen? See, it will reverse my list also. So the first method of reversing a list is slicing in list. So you can reverse a list by this. And if you want to print the last element of the list, then -1 is the index for the last element. Now we'll see the second way. So now what I will do is I will write L is equal to and I will take a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I have written print, I will take one more variable. A is equal to, see, Safi, we cannot use the negative index at the starting. I told you in the strings class. Whenever you are using a slicing thing, if you will write a negative index at the first place before the colon, then you will always get nothing as the output. So now, for example, if I want to do something like this, I will write L dot reversed. L dot reversed. And after reversing it, I will give it a data type of, or I will give it a casting of list. And I will write print A. Let's see what will happen. See, it is reversed. So if you want to reverse your list, first you have to use the reversed function. And inside the reversed function, you have to drop your list. And after that, again, you have to cast it into a list. So first, you have to use reversed function and put your list inside it. And then again, cast that same thing into a list. So by this way, you can reverse your list. Now, the third thing is, the third thing is how to do it with the help of loop. Loop way. Now, who will tell me how to print it in the form of loop? For example, if I have taken L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I'm writing print L of -5. Suppose I'm printing L of -5. Let's see what will happen. It is giving me 1. If I will print L of -4, tell me what will be the answer if I'm printing L of -4. Tell me fast what will be the answer if I'm printing L of -4. The answer will be 2. Now, by this way, who will tell me how I can reverse my list with the help of for loop? So let's take a list first and just try to print some values inside it. Like try to hold some values inside it. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have included some values. I will try to create a loop for I in range, not range, for I in L. No, I will use a range concept to print it because that direct concept will not work here. So I will write for I in range. And what range I will give? My range will be starting from 1, till length of L plus 1. We know that if I'm using length of list, it will be always -1. Yes or no? Everyone knows that. If I will use a length of list, it will always be -1. So what I will do is I will take a length of list and I will take it plus 1. Why I'm doing it, you will understand after my next line. See, I want to run my range. I want to run my index in the range of 1 to 5. That's why I'm doing it. And after that, I will take an empty list, which is L1. And what I will do is I will write L1 dot append, L1 dot append. And the basic thing that I will write is L followed by the minus index of I. And I will print my L1, which is my reversed list. How many of you are able to understand what I am doing now? How many of you are able to understand what I am doing here? I told you something here. Am I using the same concept here? Well, let's check. See, it's reversed. So if you are doing this reversing in front of the interviewer, then at that point of time, if you will use this way, or if you will use this way, then these are the ways that you can remind in your mind. But interviewer wants something like this. He wants you to create a logic. He wants to check your thinking capability, how you can think, how you can understand the things. So that's why this is the complete way in which you can reverse a list. Now I will tell you about some basic things in this list, which is append, pop, insert. Append, pop, insert. So these are the list functions. So if I'm taking an empty list, and this empty list concept is very important. You must know what is an empty list. So if I am taking a variable and I am giving it opening and closing square brackets, then understand it as a list. If I want to show you what is the type of it, so let's say type, and I will write L. And see, it is in the form of list only. So now what we have to do is, I will write L dot append, L dot append, and I will write 1 here. And I will try to print my L, which is my list. See, I'm getting 1. If I'm writing L dot append 2, I'm getting 2. So if I'm writing 1, comma 2, comma 3, who will tell me what will happen? If I have written 1, comma 2, comma 3, will it run or it will give me an error? It will give me an error. You can only append one value at a time. So append is basically adding something to the list. Now, if I have written insert, L dot insert, and I have written 1, comma 1. So in this insert function, in this insert thing, the first one that you are giving is position. On which position and what element you want to insert. What element? So suppose I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have given something like this. And I am writing 3, comma 1. Let's see what will happen. See, at starting, it is 3, 4, 5. But on the third index, it has inserted what? It has inserted 1 there. So previously on the third index, it was 4. But now on the third index, it is 1. So with the help of insert, you can write the position and the element you want to insert. Is this thing clear to all of you? How insert is working? So now my question is, if I want to do the above question, how I can use my insert to play the game? So now I want to solve my above question only. And this time I want to use my insert. Tell me. So suppose if I use insert here, L1 dot insert, and I will give a position which is 1, and I will put a I here. Let's see what will happen. We are getting 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. Sorry. I have to write L of I. Let's see what will happen. We are not getting anything. Why we are not getting anything? Because this time range is getting out of index. Because previously what we are doing is previously we are doing a minus. So in minus, we want it from 1 to 5. That's why we have used this thing. So let's remove this length of +1 and just make it a 0 here and see what will happen. See what you are getting here. 7654. Now it is your thing. Tell me what I have to change in this code to get my answer correct. Only one thing I have to change in this code, and I will get my answer correct. And my list will get reversed. Tell me what is that one thing? Who will tell me what is that one thing that I will change and I will get the output? I have told you about insert. Tell me what is the one thing that I have to change here and I will get my output. Take 30 seconds of time and think. Position of 1, I have to change it to position of 0 index. See, it works. Now how this program is working? First, at starting, my value of I is 0. At starting, my value of I is 0. So I have written L1 dot insert at 0th index, try to insert L of 0, which is 1. So my list at starting, when the value of I was 0, my first element in the list was 1. Clear? Now my value of I is 1 now. Now again at the 0th index only, I have to insert L of 1, which is 4. So right now this 4 will come here and 1 will move there. Is this thing clear to all of you? Now again I value will be 3. Then again at the 0th index we have to place, I value will be 2. And again at the 0th index we have to place L of 2, which is 5. Then 5 will come here. Then again 6 will come here. And then 7 will come here. Is this thing clear to all of you? See, the people who are understanding in the class, for them, the series is going to be a gem. But the people who are not joining the class, I'm also sorry, like many of the times I have cancelled your class. I am also sorry for that. But see, this is something that you have to understand. So this is the part of code first. And this is your code second. Okay. So I will write it here also. 0 to length of L. And I will write L1 dot insert. And I will write 0, comma L of I. Umar, it is clear to you? Is it clear to all of you? Vijay, it is clear. Sandesh? Okay. Now there is something known as pop method. Pop. So if I have a list A equal to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if I'm writing something like this, A dot pop 4, and I'm going to print A. Let's see what will happen. What is happening here? What it is doing? If I've written A dot pop 4, so whenever I have written a pop thing, what will happen is pop will remove. So basically, pop takes the index that you want to remove. Sorry, index that value you want to remove. So if I have written pop 3, sorry, pop 1, then which value will get removed from the list? If I have written pop 1, 4 will get removed from the list. 2, 5, 6, 7. So these are the three list functions that we must know, which is append, pop, insert. Till here, everybody is clear. Till here, all of you are clear. Okay. So now let's move little more deeper. So now I will give you a question. So my question is, write a Python code to take a list from the user, then make it a reverse list, and after reversing it, if the last element of the list is equal to first element of the list, print yes, else print second last element of the list. Last element. So this question is the question now. I will give you 1 minute of time, and after that I can like call any one of you, and you have to turn on your mic and you have to solve this question. Understand the question. You have to take a list from the user. You have to first reverse it. And after reversing it, you have to check if the last element is equal to the first element of the list. Print yes, else print second last element. So Abhishek, am I audible to you? Hamza, am I audible to you?
Yes, Durgesh.
Yeah, Hamza. So what will be my step first, Hamza? Tell me.
Uh, First, we'll take a list, create a list for from input.
Okay, so the first time doing that thing only. Okay, I have taken the list from the user. After that,
Uh, We'll take a empty string,
empty.
empty list, sorry.
Okay, I have taken an empty list as well.
Then we'll use for loop in range of uh,
For I in range of
no, yeah, 0 to length of list.
0 to length of list. Correct. After that,
Uh, After that, we'll reverse the string. Um,
list. How we'll reverse it? Which function we will use?
you can use okay, insert method, fine.
Insert will be fine because you have started from 0.
Okay.
Okay. So L at what index I will insert?
Hmm.
0th index. Because every time I have to get the index and I have to place it at a 0 index, then only my list will get reversed.
Okay. Okay. Good.
But I've told you this thing in this example.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, after this thing is over, now this thing is over. Now, what will be the step 2? You have made a reversed list.
We'll use the if condition.
Okay. If condition,
If last element, so
if L of -1,
it's
which is
divisible.
last element, is
Hmm.
equal to L of 0, which is first element. Print what? Print yes. Else, what we have to print?
-2.
-2. L of -2.
-2.
Now let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. The output is yes. Why the output is yes? Because first element of my reverse list is equal to the second last element of my reverse list. Now let's give a list in which it is not reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Tell me what will happen.
It will print 5.
It will print. Why it will print 5?
Last
Okay, okay,
second,
okay. Okay, okay, okay. Me, second
it should
last
have print.
element of the reversed list.
Okay.
This is L is reversed list.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it.
5 will come if you are taking this list.
Yes. Yes.
Is this question clear to all of you? Is this thing right now? Tell me, see, I'm again telling you all, I am teaching you on a pattern how to crack an interview in data analytics with the help of Python. And that's why I'm taking a lot of coding things. See, only learning Python basics and theory will not help you to crack an interview. You must know how to code. So, are you getting to learn how to code in Python?
Yes, Durgesh. Even the questions are very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm telling you one thing, I'm making these questions on my own mind. I'm not using anything to give you these questions.
Yeah, because I've not
What
seen
are,
these questions, and it's very good questions.
yeah. But yeah, I know what kind of questions they ask in interview. Okay. So now next question that we are going to do is we are going to write a write a input. So this time I will give you a question in a coding pattern, how it comes in a coding interview. So question will be like there will be a format in input and output. So in input there will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 2, 1, and the output will be and the third value will be 3, and the output will be What is the sum 5499312? Sorry, 9312, 12 to 14, 15, 15, 3, 45, 45 plus 63994 13, 13 to 15, 16, 16 is 48. The output will be 40, 40, 80, 88, 93. So you have to give me answer like this. Now this question is at medium difficulty now. So now this is not an easy question. And I know that many of you will not be able to do it, and many of you will think, but it will be little tricky for you. So now just see what I am doing. I am taking input in three lines. I am taking input in three lines. First line is taking my list one, second line is taking my list two, and third thing that I'm taking is my integer value. And how my output is coming is all the elements of in this list are multiplied by 3 and then added with each other, and all the elements of this list are like added with each other and multiplied by 3. So the output is coming like this. So list 1 elements all are added, which means 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all are added, and then it is multiplied by 3, plus list 2 elements all are added and into multiplied by 3, then total sum. How many of you got to know how we are getting the output? Is there any person who is not able to get how we are getting the output? Please ask. If you are not able to understand how we are getting the output.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, got it. You can move on.
Okay, now tell me how to solve this. Okay. So this was also a basic question. I just made you a little to think that it is tough, but it was also an easy question only. Let's see, it is very easy. Just give me a second. I have to bring my charger.